Hey everybody, it's Victor Pisano with Charge Up, and welcome to another edition of the PowerCast. Today's going to be a special edition. We're going to keep it in the family. I'm honored to have my two daughters, Isabel and Catherine. So with that, why don't y'all go ahead and introduce yourself?
My name is Catherine Pisano. I'm the youngest daughter. I'm 17 years old, about to begin my senior year of high school.
I'm Isabel. I am 20 years old. I'm his oldest. I am about to start my junior year at Texas State, and I'm studying education in hopes of becoming a 6th grade math teacher.
Kind of a tradition on PowerCast. We have a little bit of fun first. If you were on an island and you could only have three things, what three things are you bringing?
I feel like I would bring, this is gonna be so dumb, like some wood for a fire.
Like you can build?
Yeah, like build a fire.
Like you'd be able to do that.
I would figure it out.
Okay.
Food and water.
I would bring my laptop so I could have easy access to the internet, figure out
You're on an island.
There's someone that has reception out there, trust me.
So let's jump into it now.
Okay.
Okay, so
Fun and games.
both of you all know that I've spent a tremendous amount of time as we prepare for the launch with Charge Up.
Definitely know.
And it is to honor Poppi, your grandfather, my father, Vic Pisano. And the goal for me was to hopefully inspire people, or at least make them think differently and more open-minded about leadership. Poppi had a unique perspective in the way he did things, right?
Absolutely.
So tell me, what did Poppi do, or what do you remember most that inspired you personally?
I always remember, no matter what my idea was, even if I was, 3 years old and it was a dumb idea, whatever, he was always feeding back positivity of everything I would talk about, everything I would say, or even if I would come up with some great thing I wanted to try, it was just, okay, we'll keep trying. And it was, he never thought any dream was too big or any dream would never become a reality. So I always just remember it. He would tell us to never give up on anything. And I think that lesson, goes to anything and can help you in leadership and can help you in everyday life activities that you're doing. And that's something that I will never forget about the way our conversations usually went.
Something that I remember a lot too was how he never took life too seriously. Like whenever an obstacle would be thrown in front of him where probably one of us would have freaked out and backed away from the challenge, he laughed at it. And so I definitely, since April, I've tried to do that more with life and take it like a grain of salt and just kind of, it's fine, we're moving on. It's the next minute, it's already passed, we're over it. So I loved that way about him.
And he really, going on to that, it was control the controllables. He had a big idea of that, okay, why are you upset about something that happened 2 weeks ago that you still can't control any of it? Why not just start working harder at this and maybe it'll come to you? Right. So that's a good one.
Agreed.
See, it seemed how both of you had a unique answer, something that was individual to you that you remembered. But what's special to me is I can relate to your answer and I can relate to your answer. It's true growing up, and when I was your age, and him as my father, his thing was never say what if. Never say what if.
Do it.
You just
Go
have
out.
to do it. And if you fail, it's okay, you tried.
Right.
And then to your point, so many times you're right, we would come home and we would think it'd be the end of the world.
Yeah.
And he would just always say, there's a solution. There's a solution. Just relax, be patient, and find it.
Well, he definitely passed that on to you
I
because
was just about to say.
I know if Isabel and I come to you with anything, it's those same answers. And so you definitely had learned a lot from that because you definitely give us that exact answer.
Well, that makes me feel good. Then it's all working out.
Doing something right.
Then it's all working out.
Yes.
There is no one definition of leadership because you're going to have a different idea at the age of 13, 18, 21, all the way into your adulthood.
Right.
It changes. But I'm curious to know, what is your definition? So we'll start with you, Catherine.
Okay.
To you, what is leadership?
To me, when I think of someone being a leader or acting in that position, I think of someone who erases I from their vocabulary and just simply replaces it with the word we, and is not so much interested in themselves anymore. It becomes about the team or the group of people they're working with, and how can we make ourselves the best we can be to make our team the best we can be. And it's someone that, I mean, like you've said in a lot of your podcasts and everything, not everyone is born a leader. Not everyone has the ability to be a leader because of just how they're born, but I think someone that has passion about what they're doing and goes out to try to make their team or whatever they're working with better. And it's, I mean, a hard job, but they're the selfless people in the back sometimes that don't get a lot of the recognition sometimes, but that really help their teammates or their group.
I think that's a great answer. What do you have, Isabel?
You took my word, but I define leadership with one word, and that's selflessness. I think it's, you can't be, your personal growth cannot be a thought in your head. It is all for the betterment of the people with you. And I think that leadership, like you said, it's a quality that not everyone has, and to be able to grow that and show it is something really, really special. And I think it's selflessness. You have to think about everyone else but yourself.
So since this is a special edition, and it is the Paisanos,
Keep it up with the Paisanos.
I have to brag and say that both of you have had the opportunity and continue to have the opportunity to display leadership qualities. Isabel, who's vice president of the Chi-O chapter at Texas State. Catherine, who has been the team captain of the softball team at high school, as well as select ball. And it makes me extremely proud because you both used the word selflessness.
Right.
And in watching both of your development as leaders, y'all ask me for advice, but a lot of times I make you think more than just give you the answer.
Right.
But to sit back and watch what you just said is really how both of you act in that position. So it's impressive to me that you don't just talk the talk,
Right.
you walk the walk.
Right.
And those are critical qualities.
Yeah.
And we talk about everyone has a different definition of leadership. There are a couple things, 3 or 4 probably, that will be the foundation, right?
Right.
And I think you'll hit upon a very, very
Perfect.
important one in 2 different situations.
Yes.
And a lot of the content on Charge Up, I'll break things down to its simplest form. So a question that I ask a lot, or I'll pose to people in the podcast when I challenge them to think, is what are 3 traits that define leadership? So think about specific characteristics that make up a leader. So 3 of them. You want to start?
Yeah, sure. I think the first 2 that come to mind would be humility, courage, and commitment, probably. I think all 3 of them kind of intertwine too, but I mean, I think a big one for me is humility. Like you said, with my position in my sorority, I'm in charge of 200 plus girls, and I do make mistakes. And when I get the grade wrong, I'm in charge of grades, and so, I mean, it's the difference of a point of a number that could be the difference between probation and stuff. And so when I get that wrong, I have to be able to easily say, you know what, I was wrong. We're just going to switch it around and do it. And so I think being able to admit that you're wrong is big, because I have been around a lot of leaders, especially through high school softball and stuff, unfortunately, where it's just different kinds of people who can't admit that they're wrong. And so definitely high school softball taught me humility, humility, humility. I think it's a really big one to define a good leader.
So are you finding it easier to admit mistakes
Absolutely.
outside of a leadership role, just in life?
Yes, I would think so too. I mean, just in my academic life, and then, since I am away from home and I'm having to do more adult things on my own, which isn't the funnest, I'm having to admit that I'm not doing things the right way. I need to figure out a different way of doing things. Study habits. If I skip on going to the grocery store for 2 weeks, it's just catching myself and being able to say I'm wrong. Whether it's in front of people or just to yourself, I think is a big thing too.
So your 3 leadership traits.
For me, selflessness, that's a core one for me. I'm gonna keep that one in there. Integrity, and then also passion. I mean, if you're not passionate about what you're doing, it's hard to be a good leader. It's hard to be someone that other people look up to be.
Yes.
And so for me, I mean, you have to really be passionate about what you're doing, or else, I mean, you're not gonna be able to get the job done. And then even integrity. During workouts, not just high school, but like even on our own when we hit the gym 5:30 a.m., it's so easy to just like skip that one sit-up and, you know, okay, well we can end 20 minutes early. You know,
usually
and
me.
that's very easy to do, but I think that if you're the leader on your team, that will create so many other problems for your team because
Shortcuts will all catch up.
Yes.
And it'll show.
yes, and I mean, you're going to be going from being able to play a whole game to then being able to play a strong 5 innings to a strong 3 innings just because you're not doing the same thing that you're used to. You know, you're cutting it 1 minute short. Well, every day, 1 minute short, if you do it for a whole year, that's 365 minutes short. You know, so I think being able to continue to do the right thing, because if the leaders on your team stop doing it, well then, I mean, everyone behind you is going to be like, they're not doing it, we don't have to do it. So to me, I mean, having integrity and having passion go just along with selflessness.
So if Isabel chose humility as the one that she has been most exposed to this year, would you narrow those two down to be, would you pick one between those two that's been the challenge?
I would say passion. Integrity, I haven't been faced with a lot of, as far as like my life, my athletic life, you know, every area of my life, I haven't been faced with a lot of situations to where I can kind of go off my integrity. So I would say the hardest thing is passion, because once things get really hard, it's difficult to stand up and continue to be like, I love what I'm doing. I can't wait to come here again. You know, it becomes really difficult to do that. So I would say passion has been something that I'm kind of struggling with because it's so easy to get negative, especially when you're around negativity. It's really difficult to be that person to be like, we love what we're doing. We've been playing softball, for instance, since we were 8. Like, why can't we continue to make it fun, you know? So I would say definitely passion.
Now let's move into 3 characteristics of success. And this is a conversation we have. Success does not mean money. And that's something that my father and Poppi would always talk about.
Right.
You know, success is, it's the love of your family. It's the pride you take in the achievements of your family. So that's something that has always made me proud, is each of you have a firm foundation of what achievements are in life. But I'm curious, if you had to pick 3 specific traits of being successful, what would they be? And we'll start with you this time.
I would say, in no specific order, I would say perseverance, because again, like I was talking about, it seems easier to fall down these days than it is to get up. So I would say definitely perseverance. I would say going after success and not just like waiting for it to come to you. And I think that's shown in your life a lot. This opportunity doesn't like come to people. You know, you had to go get it. You had to hire everyone on your staff. You had to find all your interviews. You know, you had to do it all. So I think that's a big one, of going to find success and not being like, oh, I'm putting in a lot of work at my job. I mean, maybe I'll get a raise, or, you know, maybe I'll get a higher position. You know, I think if you're going after something that you like to do, that's whenever you're going to be successful. And then I would honestly say humility. I would go back to that, and I would say humility. That's, if you don't have any sense of humility, I don't think you're going to be able to, be successful, because no one's going to be wanting to work with you. No one's going to want to be on, a team with you. No one's going to be wanting to even talk to you if you're going to be that kind of person. So I definitely think those 3 things would be my idea of a successful person.
So what are 3 characteristics of success for you?
So I kind of took that question as like my 3 keys to success, like
So
what I kind
personal.
of live, but yeah, like
Okay.
my personal thing. And as she was talking, I was kind of thinking, and mine relates so much to what Poppi like taught us, I think. But my top 3 is probably like trust your gut, because it's definitely right as much as you don't want it to be. Roll with the punches, which was definitely Poppi, I feel. Like, he was very much like, who cares, get up, let's go. Like, we're doing it again. And then just have fun with it. I mean, if you're not having fun, kind of like the whole passion thing, no one else is gonna have fun. So even if you are in a little bit of a more tough situation, if you just make it fun, I think it'll change the outcome a lot.
See, it's crazy. Y'all are sisters, best friends, but every
I don't know about that.
Oh, whatever.
close. But every question you'll have different answers.
We're pretty different.
And that's pretty
Thank
cool.
gosh.
I would think at some point y'all would say, I agree with you, and that's that.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. If you could spend one day with a particular leader and have the opportunity to ask questions, spend time to learn, who would you choose?
This one's kind of funny. It's not funny. It's a real like person and stuff. But I have just like from the things I've seen and the quotes I've seen and stuff, I would want to spend a day with Winston Churchill. That's right. And
Didn't even know you knew who that was.
That's a dad thing too.
Wow.
I'm very proud.
I would say Winston Churchill because, I mean, if you go on Google and you just look up Winston Churchill quotes, you find some like gold on that site. And I mean, I don't know, he kind of reminds me of Poppi in a sense because he didn't always choose the popular thing at the time, but the correct thing.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, a lot of people were, you know, he would say his ideas and he would talk to a bunch of people about what could work, what they were gonna do, and like the whole rundown of the plan. And a lot of people were like, not doing it, or that's an awful idea. And it turned out to be, that was correct. And whenever he gave speeches, he would just inspire so many people, and he didn't care about getting around to everyone ever. You know, his intentions for a speech were, I'm gonna touch, okay, about 100 people in this crowd maybe. A lot of people aren't gonna agree, but the 100 that do are now on my side. And now I have more going for me, and now we have, you know, more brains to think about how we can improve this. And I think that learning from him and being able to listen, he had a quote about listening, and
I don't know. I'm really bad at quotes. I can't.
he has a quote about listening, and I really like it. And it's basically saying, like, you can't learn unless you listen. And I would love to just sit down for like 3 hours and just listen to everything he would have to say about leadership in itself, or hardships, or, you know, everything that he has learned throughout his life. That would be really cool to me.
That's a good answer. Of course, I'm going to say that.
I know,
I
'cause
love Winston Churchill.
yeah, you're a little biased on that one.
I am a little. And these are unscripted, so I'm learning when you tell me.
Yeah, no,
This
I'm-
is going to be brand new, so I'm excited.
First, I'm gonna say it's kind of hard to follow. I think that was really good.
As long as you
so-
don't say Taylor Swift.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
But I do feel like y'all are gonna laugh at who I've been thinking of. But again, I feel like it's kind of Poppi.
The founder of Kaio.
Okay, no, I'm all Joe Bell Holcomb. No, just kidding. That's the founder of Kaio.
Okay.
No, Gandhi.
I was gonna say that one, but I
Because
decided no.
I
it's
feel
not
like
my
that's a
alley.
really hard question. Like, I've never realized like how many like really big influential leaders there have been in history. And so when I think of leadership, again, this is just me, and y'all know more than anyone, I am the most non-confrontational person in the world. I hate going up to the source. I hate it. It freaks me out, and I feel like that was Gandhi. Like, he was so calm about everything, the whole like non-violence thing. I really like that, and I like the way that he went about his style of leadership, and how he had such a big crowd of people that just supported him and loved him for what he was doing, and how it was just, again, the whole nonviolence thing, and no, we're just gonna sit here and we're gonna show them how you should act. And so I really like that, and I feel like I can kind of relate to that a little bit. So I would want to know just how he did it in those times, and with the circumstances that he had, and how he got all of those people behind him just by literally sitting there and being silent, and I don't know, in such a hard time in a hard country like that. So
No, I mean, we talk about leadership, and earlier we said that there's really no definition of leadership.
yeah,
There's really no definition of how a leader should conduct themselves.
yeah, it's so different.
Exactly. Some are loud.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Now, Gandhi, on the other hand, he chose his words very carefully.
oh yeah.
So when he did speak,
Little to no words.
exactly. And when
But
he
it got
did
around
speak,
to people.
It did.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's two different things, but at the same time, amazing how both of them are influential,
Yes.
remembered,
Yes.
revered, and leaders.
Yeah.
So it's encouraging, or at least I hope it's encouraging, for people to understand being a leader doesn't necessarily mean you have to be the loud one
Yeah.
or
Right.
constantly in the spotlight. Leadership is action,
Yes.
not voice.
Right.
Yeah.
Leadership isn't rising to the top, it's moving forward,
Right.
even if it's in small steps. And by the way, that's a Gandhi thing. Leadership is small steps
Yeah.
forward as long as you're always moving forward.
Exactly.
She knew that.
That was good.
I knew
Two
that.
very good answers.
Thanks.
So, Isabel, I'll ask you first.
Okay.
What inspires you?
Ooh, that's a hard question. I think a lot of things inspire me. I mean, my family. I mean, you and Mom have done such an amazing job with like raising Catherine and I, and instilling such great values and morals in our heads and everything. But I think every day, me just wanting to show y'all how amazing I can be, and like prove y'all right that y'all raised me so amazing, and and I think that y'all inspire me a lot. Catherine inspires me a lot. I know I've never admitted that. That's kind of hard.
Humility.
Okay, full circle. But yeah, Catherine inspires me a lot just to keep going. I think like we all we go through difficult things together, and I think that just always knowing like Catherine's looking up to me, it keeps me like, okay, no, we're not giving up yet. I mean, even in those workouts, those 5:30 workouts, I want to be better.
I tell you.
I want to work out harder, and so, but I mean, it's just little things every day. And I mean, now I feel like y'all could definitely relate to this, but I think Poppi like definitely has that whole situation. Is just I have a whole new outlook on life and what does inspire me and how I am going to go about my everyday life. But he inspired me to do a lot of things, and one of those things was to take a big leadership position in my sorority. I think he literally would have been like, no, you do not do that. But yeah, I think it's mainly family.
It's funny because I think with you and I, we're in the same position. I was enamored with Poppi. Poppi was my mentor, he was my life coach, he was everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I could be more inspired, but in his passing, I am more inspired.
Yeah, so many things come to light, and
Right.
like you just want to.
You want to carry it on, right?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's a typical Pisano answer. Family.
So you brought up Mom.
Yes.
This is going to be a surprise to Mom because Mom has
Yes.
no clue. So
She doesn't.
Mom has no idea.
Mom has no idea. So you said Mom. Why don't we give a high five to Mom? High five, Mom.
You're welcome.
We all
Beth.
pointed.
Beth, you have done an incredible job raising these two daughters.
Oh,
because
stop.
I was out of town for a lot of your lives.
Yes.
I spent a lot of time on the road, and Mom did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
So leadership,
Mom.
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 Silent. What is it? Unspoken hero or unsung hero?
Unsung hero?
Oh,
Is she the
Mom.
unsung mom?
She's the
I think we all
the
just need
unsung hero.
a nice unison. Boom.
Boom.
Only Mom will understand
Yes.
that. She'll be mad.
She'll frown right now.
She is.
She is. I didn't say that.
I never said that.
I never
Okay,
said
and
That
boom.
never happened.
Y'all are gonna get her going.
Okay, we won't do that.
Get her fired up.
We love you. Thank
We
you.
do.
Beth.
Thank you, Mom.
It's your turn.
It is. Y'all kind of. I thought y'all were gonna skip over me, but here we are.
What inspires you, Catherine?
So I would say what inspires me is, she did steal one of my answers. I hesitate to use it again, but I mean, it's appropriate, is Poppi. I mean, this sounds awful, but like I didn't realize like everything that I had in front of me. And like, I mean, he was a leader, and I didn't realize all those lessons that were just jam-packed in him that, by saying something funny actually turned out to be a great lesson that we all needed to learn from. And so he definitely is one of those people, just like y'all have been saying, I don't want to reiterate anything, but I mean, all those lessons in life and now have been brought to light. That's a great way to put it. You can definitely, they're so evident in my life now.
Right.
So I would say that. And then another thing that inspires me, is like not wanting to be average. I want to go out and do something bigger than that. If I'm going to do all those things, I want to be the best at what I'm doing someday. I want to be someone that's making a difference on this world and not just being one of the people that just talk about change and talk about what needs to happen. I want to like be the change. So I think that that definitely inspires me.
What would you define as a leadership challenge that you have faced?
I think for sure, I'm gonna loop it back around to senior year of high school softball. I was also voted as the team captain, and I think for the first time.
That was the one year I was not the captain.
Oh, okay, it was my senior year though, so.
That was my one year.
One year we played
I'm
together.
just glad there's not a competitiveness.
Yeah,
Not at all.
good thing it was only 1 year together.
Yes.
But I think you can definitely agree with me. That year was really challenging.
definitely.
Yeah, I think for the first time I saw that, you know, not everyone is the same. And when you are put in that leadership position, people look up to you. And that was weird because that had never happened to me before. And so having to make a little bit more tough decisions and work with personalities of 16 through 18-year-old girls is really hard. And I think that was the biggest thing. And I think that was kind of like a big, all right, welcome to the world.
Because it started pretty quickly.
Yeah, it was crazy, but I think it taught me a lot. And again, back to humility and strength and passion, just realizing like I was picked for a reason, so I'm just gonna keep going, persevere through it, but it taught me a lot, as rough as it was.
And it's a good example.
Thank you.
I would say for me, so far, I mean, I'm 17, so I haven't been through a lot of, you know, things that are like leadership heavy, you know, like crazy leadership. But for me, one of my greatest challenges probably is having to mold a team that had zero chemistry and zero want for chemistry. Everyone seemed to want to win, but it never looked like that from the outside. And I mean, that was very difficult because there were about 2-3 of us that were really trying to get everyone around to each other and trying to just really clear the air with everything. So that was probably one of my greatest challenges. And then, of course, like you said, I had to learn that everyone is going through something different. And no matter how happy they look on the outside, there's stuff going on. Or if they're snapping at you and you're like, why? Like, that was a big issue. Like, why are they always in bad moods? Like, I'm very good at hiding stuff. I've come to learn that I can hide my emotions pretty easily. And so I'm like, why are they always in a bad mood? I don't understand. And I, like you said, real quick had to learn that, I mean, everyone is going through something. And that's I think that's whenever I changed as a leader. Like, okay, enough with the I don't really care about how I feel anymore. Okay, let's go help these people. Like, they're upset. Okay, they have their own lives going on, so I'm not gonna add more to it.
Right.
Let's just all come together and help each other, you know? And that was probably one of my biggest challenges thus far, and then probably one of my better successes with having them come together.
The reason a lot of people don't achieve the success or take the chances in life to lead is because there is a fear of failure. And fear is such a dominant emotion because it clouds your senses,
Right.
And it distorts reality. And when we started this, I think both of you made the comment that we tend to make things bigger than they are sometimes. But it truly, right, we're Pisanos, but it truly does distract people from achieving the great things that they're capable of. And who knows how much further they needed to go to actually achieve the success, but they pulled back because of fear.
Exactly, the
Okay?
what ifs.
The what ifs.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I'll start with you.
Okay.
How do you face fear as an obstacle?
That's a good one because again, I'm a non-confrontational type of person, and so I definitely hit that roadblock a lot because I'm scared of what people are going to think of me. Am I being a good leader right now? I mean, I didn't get a lot of training going into this with everything that was happening at Texas State in the Greek life system. I mean, training was just halted, and so I just kind of went into this really, really blind. And so with my position, I will not lie to you. I mean, yesterday I had to do something and I was scared I was doing it wrong. And so I always handle it as, I mean, you're in the position. Obviously, people trust you. You were selected for this position for a reason. So why stop? Why not give it your all? Because there's gonna be a day where you are no longer in that position. And again, the what ifs. What if I would have done this a little bit better? What if I would have given this 110% more? And so to me, it's always I think I can do it a little bit more, a little bit harder, and get a better outcome. So, I mean, going back to the question, I always handle it as don't give up. Just keep going. Because to me, failure is giving up. And I mean, Poppi would be so mad. I'm still scared of him. But yeah, I think just not giving up and just going. Perseverance, like you were saying earlier. But yeah.
What about for you?
I would say this is super generic, but I would say it is an opportunity to get better. And since I know it seems like softball is all I have to talk about, but I spent a lot of time doing it. Failure, you know, more than anyone. I do not do failure. I cannot stand failure and what it brings, but I think that you have taught me the most about it. Like, it's an opportunity to get better. And if you're failing, then you can build upon it. You know, you can be successful out of failing. And I remember you would always tell me if I was upset about, you know, batting 400, you would tell me, I mean, that's like great. And I'm like, how is that great? I got on base 4 times out of 10 at bats. How is that good?
It's Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you would have to tell me like the best of the best are like 3 for 10, you know? And it was like, you can't have those odds in really any other sport. Like if you're a basketball person and your free throw percentage is 400, you're not really doing good. You're not really getting that. But so failure kind of varies wherever you are, but as long as you're learning from it and you're persevering through it and stepping up to then face that challenge again, that's a success in itself. Because a lot of people shut down right after that failure.
Like the small little successes.
Yes.
It's gonna get you to the big one.
Yes.
I think, and like highlighting those is really big too.
Yeah, I would just say stepping up and using the failure as an opportunity.
So that does it for the special edition of PowerCast with the Pisano family. We would love your support. Not only do we have the PowerCast where we have the opportunity to interview leaders, both young and old, but we also have the website, all social media platforms, and the great thing about Charge Up is it's interactive. So we want to know more about you. We want to learn more about your challenges. We welcome the opportunity for communication, open dialogue. So I ask you support, I ask that you share, like, because we've got to build the community in order to inspire the community. So I thank you for taking the time, for listening today, for watching the PowerCast. I thank my 2 incredible special guests, my beautiful daughters, Isabel and Catherine. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and let them do the close of today's PowerCast.
Thanks for watching. And don't forget, my friends,
Charge up.